marketing. You can even ask me about my dogs if you want. I want to make this as engaging and about you as I can. So today we're focusing on short form video for your business. So there's a lot of AI these days, but I am really here with you right now. This hour is for us to be able to, even though it's just in chat, to talk back and forth and really answer questions in real time because I am passionate about this stuff. These days, I'm called a digital creator, a content creator. And that means anything visual is my wheelhouse. So whether it's photography or video or motion graphics or creating stuff now with AI, I love this stuff and I want to get you excited about it also. So everything that we're doing today is stuff that I do for my own business and for my clients. So this is really how I work it. The processes and programs that I use is what I'm sharing with you today. So I hope that you're ready to be amazed because I love this stuff. I'd like to connect with you on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, I'm Ronnie Ramus, and on all other social, I'm under my business name, which is Harmony 3 Productions. If you want my best tips on a semi-regular basis, scan the QR code. You will get a copy of the presentation and the video and the slides. So scan the QR code or type in the URL, and about once a month, I'm sharing things that maybe aren't ready for prime time yet. Maybe they're not in my webinars yet, but things that I'm trying and experimenting with. It's really where I can kind of test drive it. All right. So we're talking video marketing mastery. These days, everybody calls themselves masters, but I really do want you to leave today with the understanding of what's possible. And like I said, you're going to get a copy of the slides so you can go back and revisit some of the things that we've talked about. I want you to think about the value of video these days. Scroll stopping content, that means quick, short, under 60 seconds. 60 seconds these days is considered long form video because I think we all can transform our videos our business with shorter videos. You don't need a big budget. You don't need big know-how of production. You just need you and your phone and the right strategy. And having that strategy really is what is going to set us apart in terms of being consistent. And consistency these days, I think, is almost higher than quality. So quantity these days is kind of on a little bit higher step than quality, even though I want your stuff to be amazing. But more than that, I want you to be posting videos. So yeah, video, it's absolutely here. Short form video, I'm sure if you're logged into any social media account, it has transformed how businesses connect with their audience. You're going to hear that term audience quite a bit, and you need to know your audience. Your audience is different than mine. It's different than everybody else here in this webinar today. But there's so many platforms that just celebrate that short form video, TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. It is unprecedented, the opportunity for small business owners, for entrepreneurs to reach millions of people without that giant ad budget. The best part, you've got everything you need right in your pocket, right? Because all of us pretty much have a smartphone, and the quality on those smartphones and the things you can do with it is amazing. So it makes creating your video, filming your videos easier. I won't say easy on anything because there's a lot of work to do, but there's so many ways to make it easier these days so that you can push your content out. 73% of consumers prefer video over other content formats like text or long written things. So I do include other formats in my socials and in my client socials, but video is the first place we go. So it's video focused for social media content these days. Compared to static posts, and static posts mean, like text, or in the past, you've seen a lot of inspirational quotes. And that's not getting a lot of engagement these days. Video's getting 3 times the engagement boost than static posts. So, what we're going to go over today, content ideas that convert. I want to give you some big picture ideas that you can use for your business. Just video concepts that can work for any business, whatever type you are. You don't have to be a creative genius. Filming and editing essentials, just learning a few basic steps to create really professional looking videos with just your phone. And script writing simplified. And spoiler alert, I use ChatGPT to help with my scripts every single day. They can feel natural, even if your writing isn't sounding natural. If you're not comfortable writing, using a tool like ChatGPT can take that burden off of you. You still have to read it. Don't take it word for word. But what a great way to start. And I use that literally every day. And we're going to talk about video hooks. What is that hook that you need at the start of your video? There's an art to grabbing that attention in the first 3 seconds, and the goal is then to keep that attention. So why video and why now? Well, the algorithm has spoken. Video really is king. Platforms prioritize video content because it keeps the viewer engaged longer. If you've got a video and they watch it for 20 seconds, how much longer is that than if they're just looking at a static picture and they just go on? The algorithm likes engagement and time spent on the platform. So when you show up on video, it's more than just you sharing information. You're building that genuine connection. And again, if you are on the social platforms now, you can see your feed is filled with people on camera. So you should be on camera. Some people say, nope, hard no, not going to do it. Well, there are options. You can do stock videos. You can do a voiceover and do, showing some what we call B-roll, or you can use an avatar. So there are options, but the gold standard is you being on video yourself. People buy from people they know, and you being on camera, they start to feel like they know you. It builds that trust and authenticity, and video can accelerate that relationship faster than any other medium. I see a comment in chat. Alan says, if it moves, people watch it. Absolutely true. So trust building power of video, absolutely. So when your audience sees your face and they hear your voice, they're going to see your personality. You're seeing my personality right now. They start to get to feel like they know you. And that authenticity, it's really impossible to fake. And it's incredibly powerful for building those relationships. Video humanizes your brand. And these days, humanizing your brand is becoming very important. We are in the age of AI, and people are like, I still want a person back there. So again, you being on camera, that is a plus. They can see the real person behind that business who cares about solving their problems. That is an emotional connection, and that translates directly into them deciding whether or not they want to buy your product or use your service. So your video mindset matters. And what do I mean by that? Perfectionism is the enemy. Done is better than perfect. You've heard that 100 times. Your audience cares about value and authenticity, not the production quality that you're using. Some of the most successful videos are filmed in about 10 minutes with natural lighting. I am a video production company, so quality really matters to me. But I make videos that are more spontaneous and the lighting is not perfect. I have videos with my dog barking in the background because that authenticity is important. So start before you're ready. Waiting until you feel ready means you're never going to start. Your first videos won't be your best, and that's completely okay. Every creator started exactly where you are now. And that consistency beats brilliance. Showing up regularly with decent content will always outperform sporadic bursts of perfect content. Build that habit of posting videos and then refine your craft as you move forward, right? Every video you make can be better. Every video you make can be a little better or a lot better. But start today. All right. So, how do you break through that camera shyness? If you're feeling nervous when you're on camera, you are not alone. It's one of the biggest barriers that people talk to me about when I tell them they really should be on camera. Camera confidence is a skill that you can develop. It's not necessarily a talent that you have to have. I did not want to be on camera. I had decades of being a photographer and videographer very happily behind the camera, not in front. But things have changed and I have embraced it. And I embraced it like with my teeth gritted because I did not want to do it, but I knew I had to. And I want you to at least consider the options of being on camera. Some ways to make it feel a little more comfortable are practice talking to yourself and record some videos of you just for you. You don't have to show them to anybody else. You can delete them immediately. And so that removes the pressure and can help build up that comfort with seeing yourself on screen, right? You might say, oh, I look terrible in that jacket, and then swap out that jacket, right? I do that all the time. Before I film a video, like, I don't like what I'm wearing, or I want to do my hair different. All of those things you have control over. The other thing you can do is, as I said before, start with just a voiceover. You can show your work or your products or what we call B-roll footage. B-roll is just footage that helps move your story along so that you don't have to be you talking on camera the whole time. And that B-roll plays while you are narrating. And that can ease you into being on video without having to be on camera right away. And embrace that imperfection. Stumbles and pauses and ums can kind of make you relatable. Your audience connects with real humans, not polished robots. So another couple of tricks that I use when I'm going to be filming myself. So first of all, you start with a smile. That small little trick shows up not just what you look like, but how your voice sounds. So before I start filming, so if I was going to be filming this, I would hit my, button on the camera, walk around or sit down where I was going to be filming myself. Deep breath, let it out and drop your shoulders. You don't want to be like this tight. Drop those shoulders. Start with a smile. And then you start talking. That warmth carries through the filming. I do want you to sit up straight because like right now, I'm sitting in a chair, but I'm not leaning against the back of the chair. So my back is straight. If I was comfortable sitting in the chair, I'd be sitting like this. But that doesn't really exude engagement with you. It looks like I'm just talking, right? But I want to talk to you. So I'm sitting up straight and I want you to look in the camera. Absolutely. Just like we're having a conversation. All right. Some simple content ideas that actually work. I love your comments. Everybody's making comments here in chat. You can also definitely use the Q&A button. Let me get Q&A pulled up here too so I don't miss any of them. Okay, let's see. So somebody's asking, how can you build trust about your brand without showing your face? Just what I was talking about. Try voiceover. I still believe you need video, but until you're comfortable with it, you can use voiceover or an avatar. I use avatars all the time for videos because sometimes I just don't want to be on camera, but you can build an avatar and your avatar can do your talking for you. What do I recommend for initial lighting when recording video? All right. What I use is similar to a ring light, but it's just a rectangle light. It's a soft light. What you don't want are harsh shadows. So you can see it on me now. If I had a ring light, you'd see that big circle in my glasses. So I have big lights, square, up high, right? And slightly to the side so that I'm not getting reflections in my glasses. So if you have glasses, it's a little more difficult. You have to finesse it a little bit. But I also have a light underneath, which is basically my monitor, filling those shadows. So that's what you want. You want nice, soft lighting on you. If you don't have glasses, you can use a ring light. And the reason the ring light works as a soft light is the camera goes through the ring light. So that means light all the way around. Very soft, very flattering. Rebecca's saying, do we still need to use thumbnails for your videos? Absolutely. Because that thumbnail is what people are going to see before they see your video. Now, your thumbnail can just be a frame from your video. But a lot of times people will post videos and their first frame is like a white frame or a black frame, nothing on it. And that's what people are going to see first. You need to give them some little idea of what that video is about even before it starts playing. Okay, let's see. So a few more questions. So chat just goes directly to me. I see chat. Not everybody sees chat at the same time. Alan gives a great tip for practicing. Put a photo near the camera and talk to it. Yep, I would put a photo of who you think your perfect audience looks like, your ideal client, and talk to them. That's a great idea. Let's see. All right, here we go. All right, so let's talk about some content ideas that are going to work no matter what type of business you are. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Video formats can work across. I really honestly can't think of any industry that video isn't going to work for. So let's talk about some general ones. Behind the scenes. People love behind the scenes. They want to look behind that curtain and see how you're doing things. So whatever your process is could be a video. Maybe it's how you prepare for your day or what goes into your service. The type of content that you create depends on what you do, but it's very easy to film because you're already doing the work. You just need to hit record. So here's some examples. Maybe it's your morning routine, preparing your workspace. Maybe it's packing orders or preparing for appointments. Maybe it's how you source materials or ingredients or setting up for a client meeting. So there's a lot of different industries that would work for. Katie's saying she's been very successful with her videos, but editing takes a long time. I do feel your pain, but there are ways to make it easier. I think that the reason I struggle with that is that I still am holding on to that perfectionist bit. And if you are doing that, maybe both of us could let go of that a little bit. There are apps that will cut clips together, but if you're talking, I have not gotten that to be able to work for me. If you're talking, and these days those type of videos work really, really well, what I would do is make your clip, what you're filming, short. Worst comes to worst, all you have to do is edit a couple of clips together. If you can get the whole thing in one clip, gold star. The way that you can get the whole thing in one clip is to use a teleprompter, which I use on my phone. I use an app called Teleprompter Pro, I think. But basically, I type in my script. It comes up on my phone. I'm looking at the script, but it's positioned where the camera is in my phone. So it looks like I'm just talking on camera, but I'm saying what I wanted to say, not veering off right or left. And that's where it gets, you have to do a lot of editing if you start rambling. So those would be my best suggestions, and that's what I actually do. Let's see. Katie's wondering if Instagram limits viewership in a way TikTok doesn't. Nobody seems to care about what my morning routine was. Your audience might be different on the different platforms. So that's where it becomes so important that you speak to your audience where they are. If your audience is on TikTok and you have an audience on LinkedIn, that voice is going to be wildly different. That's why it's so important that you understand what people want on each platform. Question: how can I use a teleprompter without sounding like a robot? Practice, but it's not that hard. The key to not sounding like a robot is your script, writing your script so it sounds human. I use ChatGPT all the time, and I can make my scripts sound like it's me talking, and it doesn't sound like a robot. When you're using the teleprompter, again, if you're using it on your phone, it's like right there in front. All you have to do is read it. You will get more comfortable, not like trying to find the words. You can set the speed of it. You can set how big the words are, so you can make it comfortable for you. But you do need to practice. Anything that you're going to do on camera, I recommend that you practice. Alan is asking about the best editing tools and software. There are a lot of them, depending on your level of comfort with editing. Some of the easiest, and I have a slide on it later, is there's CapCut, there's Canva, which I think is probably the most user-friendly for, just jumping in. Also, there's editing tools in the actual apps. Instagram has and YouTube have editing tools right there in the app. For more advanced, we use Final Cut and After Effects, which steep learning curve, but that doesn't mean you can't learn it. So very wide range of tools depending on your expertise. I would recommend you try. Most of them have a free trial. Try that, see if you're comfortable with it before you, and they're all that I know subscription based. Yes. Okay, let's see. I think we got what's a good free platform to try recording voiceovers via desktop? I've seen a record option on Canva, but can't figure it out. Also seen a CapCut. To try and practice your recording, use your voice memos on your phone. That is such a great way. There is a voiceover in Canva and on a lot of platforms, and it's super easy. You just hit the record button. Typically, it will give you like a 3, 2, 1 countdown, and then you just start. If you don't like it, you delete that, you just start again. Again, voiceover, same thing as if I'm on camera. Deep breath, let it out. 3, 2, 1. We're going to talk about behind the scenes content right now. I'm going to talk to you about showing your process. People love seeing what goes on behind the scenes. So you can see, I was kind of looking at my slide, but I was focused on looking at the camera. But it would sound great even if that was just a voice recording. Joe is saying, I do a monthly newsletter. Does it make sense to add a video welcome greeting before the written parts? Yes, but you can't or shouldn't try to upload a whole video into your newsletter. It's giant. You will have deliverability issues. So the video, although I think video link in your newsletters is phenomenal, because if people see video, a lot of times they want to click on it. But you'll put the link to the video, again, another reason to have a thumbnail, and they click it to watch the video, but then it takes them away from the newsletter. So if I wouldn't have the welcome email there, especially you can't put it directly in that email itself, but I would put links. If you have a new video, I would do a special newsletter about that video, and then that thumbnail at the top would be clickable, goes to where your video is being hosted. How often are you supposed to be posting videos? Daily? Weekly? For most of us, if you post weekly, you're going to feel like that's a lot of work. If you can get to posting daily, you're an absolute pro, you're a content creator. But a lot of us have our own business to do. So if you can post weekly, regularly, I give you a gold star. If you can post more often than that, it will work in your favor. But try weekly. That's only 4 videos a month. You can batch them all at once and get it done once a month. All right. What about educational types of videos? It's a problem and you have the solution for it. Here would be how you would do it. Struggling with whatever this problem is. Here's the fix. This simple structure, it addresses the pain points and it positions you as the expert. I love that. How about myth busting videos? 5 myths about you have something in your industry that people believe and it isn't really true. Or the truth about whatever that common belief is. It sparks curiosity and you're delivering valuable information. What about a quick tutorial format? How to achieve whatever that desired result is in under 60 seconds, because people love things that they can do quickly. It gives immediate and actionable value that viewers really appreciate and share. All right. Customer transformation stories. These are great. And because if you can show an outcome that is positive, right? You've done something and they can see themselves having that same problem and you're positioned as the expert, that's gold for your business. Nothing sells like results. So sharing those customer success stories and testimonials or before and after transformations, these videos, they build credibility and they really show potential customers what's possible when they work with you. So keep it simple, introduce that customer's challenge, show the journey, they love that, and reveal the outcome. You don't need to do fancy editing. It's that authentic storytelling is what resonates. Even filming a customer giving you a quick testimonial on their phone or on your phone, that's called social proof. It has to be a real person who's gotten benefit from you. But if they're saying that, they're raving about you, absolutely try to get that on video. Let's see if we see any more. Somebody's saying, what are the best B-roll platforms? So not a real platform for B-roll. B-roll technically is anything that is going to move your story along. So if you were on camera talking about, say you're a hairdresser, right? And you're talking about, oh, I did this cut, blah, 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 and you're not on camera, but you're showing what you were doing, that's B-roll. If you are a business owner and you work with people one-to-one, maybe they come into your office, as you're talking about your services, maybe you're showing a client walking into your office. Maybe you're showing you talking to a room of people who are listening to you. That's considered B-roll. So you're still talking, it's going over you. So there's not really a platform for that. You would be recording that B-roll and adding that to your videos. Okay, let's see. What platform should you prioritize? Instagram, TikTok, X? I want you to prioritize, I wish I could talk, prioritize the platforms that your audience is on. So for me, my audience is typically on Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. Does that mean I don't do Facebook? No, I do Facebook because it's so easy to do Instagram and Facebook at the same time. That same video, because I will film it vertical, is perfect for YouTube Shorts. Right? Now, for LinkedIn, that vertical video will work. That tone that I've used for Instagram will work on LinkedIn. But a lot of times I will slightly change the tone and slightly change the format, the proportion for LinkedIn, because that is a different audience. Even though my audience is very similar, it's definitely slightly more professional on LinkedIn. So you need to know where your audience is, what platforms they're on, and those are the platforms I want you to be on. Somebody's saying something else you would like to Google more. I'm not sure what you're talking about there. You said bureau video. I'm not sure what. Oh, I think I said B-roll. So it's the letter B and then roll, R-O-L-L. So B-roll, if your main video, like me talking here, that's my main video. If I wanted to, if this was a video, not a webinar, I would be talking and then I would show some B-roll periodically over what I was saying so there's not just me on camera for this whole time. It's helping move your story along. All right, let's see. What about day in the life content? Again, people like this. It's kind of letting them see how you do what it is you do. You can show your morning routine. Maybe it's coffee prep or how you plan your day. Then maybe you want to capture some client meetings or how you make your product, how it's done, or problem solving moments. Maybe it's the afternoon, share wrapping up projects or preparing for tomorrow, or maybe there's some reflection time. I see a lot of these type of videos and they really do humanize your business. It helps audiences connect with your journey, your start in the morning and time to go to bed, turn that light off, end of the video. I love those kind of videos. They're really easy to film, again, because you're already doing it. All right, so filming like a pro using just your phone. So my initial filming setup, right? You can make it easy, natural light. You film you facing the window during the daytime. Natural light is free and it's very flattering and it requires zero equipment. So as I said, I've got lights on me now, but if I turned all my lights off and was in front of my window, if the sun is coming through and it's harsh and making shadows, what you can do is put a sheet up over that window. That softens it. The key is that nice, soft, what we call beauty light, right? If you have windows behind you, you want to make sure that you have light on your face, because if I didn't have any light on front of me and I have a window behind me, then I'm just going to be a shadow. So if you're starting and you don't have additional lights, like, artificial lighting, put the window in front of you with soft light. Again, you can always hang a sheet up in front of it, and that way it diffuses the light. Now, I think that this next one is pretty much mandatory, and that's no shaking to that camera. Use a tripod or some way that you can prop your phone against books or a mug or a shelf, because that stability instantly elevates your video quality. There is a time and place for handheld, but if you're trying to give messages on a consistent basis to your audience, to your clients, it looks more professional if it's not jumping all around. So tripod. And I think most important is clear audio. And that, I think, matters more than the video quality. Because if it sounds horrible, people will not watch. Film in a quiet space, get close to your microphone, whatever it is that you're using, or invest in a little, what they call a lavalier mic. It clips to your shirt or your jacket. The quality is amazing, and it's wireless, can go right to your phone. Those also, you've seen microphones that sit on your desk, like a podcaster mic. Those work great too. But don't rely on the microphone just in your camera or your phone, because it's going to pick up all the room noise. And you want something close to you that is picking up what you are saying and minimizing that room noise. If I am doing a voiceover, what I do is I go into my closet, push the clothes to either side, and record into the voice memos of my phone. Because being in that closet with the clothes around me works as an amazingly great sound booth. You get really good quality that way. Linda's asking, do I need to interact with others on Instagram to boost your profile visibility? Doesn't necessarily work like that. Now, again, caveat to that, and this is more on LinkedIn. It would work on Instagram also. When you are posting comments, and I would say specifically comments on those channels to an account that is not yours, but is in your industry, that other people that could use your service would read the comments, then you could get more visibility. Because if you're making comment, and I wouldn't comment just like, oh, good job, or thumbs up or a heart. If you're going to make a comment, add value to their post, and that stands a better chance of somebody reading your comment and then being interested in what else you have to say. That particular uh, technique I really do use all the time on LinkedIn, because again, LinkedIn is a different platform, and people do look to have more engagement and conversations on that value add, more so than I see on something like Instagram. All right. Also, think about how you're going to hold your phone. Are you holding it horizontal or vertical? It absolutely makes a difference what platform you're going to put your video on. So vertical video for Reels, TikTok, and Shorts. Horizontal, which is that 16:9 format, only if you're creating the long form content for, say, YouTube, or say you have a video at the top of your website, or anytime that you want a long horizontal video, you would film it with your phone horizontal. Otherwise, the trend, the style these days is vertical video. And you can use that vertical video on just about any of those platforms. Think about cleaning up your background. Straighten the little wall art behind you and create visual interest without distraction. A tidy background keeps the focus on you and what you're actually saying. I do like the idea of keeping your colors a solid color. Big, bold patterns, unless that's part of your brand. You do have to think about representing your brand as you're filming you, but for most people, solid colors work best. Stripes tend to like kind of vibrate a little and can be distracting, and big patterns, again, people are going to look at that instead of what you're saying. And then definitely test your setup before you start filming for real. You can record just a little 10-second clip, and that way you can adjust your lighting if you need, you can adjust your background. Saves a lot of frustration if you put time and effort into that video and then you play it back and you're like, oh, I wish I had looked at that. Okay, let's see if I see any more questions here. Let's see. Oh, this is a great question. So Rebecca says she has a coaching business. She's been doing videos with the idea of providing value, which I 100% agree with, but she has a struggle creating scripts that provide value in under 60 seconds. What type of content do you focus on for under 60 seconds? Creating value. And again, I would work with ChatGPT to ask it, and this is how I work with it. I would say, for a coaching business, and I'm just going to say for, well, we can say kind of like SCORE, for SCORE mentors, right? They're basically coaches. So I would say to ChatGPT, write me a 30-second video script, so I'm even going shorter than 60 seconds, that would give actual value that a client would get from a SCORE mentor. And it will give you options. And then you can fine tune. Anytime AI gives you something, I want your own experience and expertise to go on top of that. So yes, I would absolutely ask ChatGPT for help, because that adding value is what would resonate, I think, with your audience. All right, let's see. All right, let's see. Now, simple editing that can make an impact. So as I said before, there's editing apps that really work. There's CapCut, InShot, and I said there's apps in the different platforms that you're on itself, like TikTok and Instagram and YouTube. But Canva, to me, is really probably the most user-friendly. So a couple of things to think about when you are editing. Trim dead space. And what does that mean? At the beginning and at the end, a lot of times, like maybe you're walking into frame, or you turn the thing off. You don't want to see you hitting the button to turn the camera off. So you want to be able to cut those beginning and end. Adding text or captions for accessibility. Most videos these days are watched without having the sound on. So captions are so important, and you want to make all of your videos accessible. So I'm definitely a big fan of adding in those captions. If you are, as we talked about before, making short clips that maybe you have to join those together, it's very easy. You just do what's called a jump clip. So one, then you line it up with the next clip, line up with the next step. You don't have to worry about any fancy transitions. And you can include a little bit of background music at a low volume to kind of set the tone for what your video is about. Different musics make people feel wildly different things. So think about what you want to convey with not just your words, but also your background music. Caveat on background music is you want to make sure that you have the usage rights to use that. A lot of people will be using popular music. Your business, you can't really use that. So in whatever platform that you're making your videos, say it's Instagram or CapCut or a Canva, look at the music and make sure it's licensed for commercial use. All right, writing your scripts that feel natural. Even the most confident speakers can benefit from a script. I know I do, but that key is making it sound conversational, not robotic, just like we talked about. So here's a very simple script formula. You start with that hook. That 3 seconds, it can be a bold statement or a question. And that's how you hook them in to stop them from scrolling. Then typically there'll be you identifying a pain point that your audience has. And then you're going to deliver that tip or insight or answer it clearly. Again, you're setting yourself up as that expert. And then a call to action. Tell viewers exactly what you want them to do next. What is it? Subscribe for more information. Watch more of our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, sign up for our newsletter, visit our website. Whatever it is you want them to do, you're making these videos for your business. So have a call to action so that, again, you can track and see if people are actually doing what you want them to do. All right. Some script writing tips. Write how you speak. Use contractions, casual language, and sentence fragments, right? If you would not say it in normal conversation, don't write it. Read your script out loud. If it sounds off, rewrite it. And ChatGPT can help you with that rewrite. Keep your sentences short. Long, really complex sentences, they're harder for you to deliver naturally on camera. So break your ideas into little bite-sized chunks. Use periods in your script generously. Your brain will thank you. And use bullet points, not paragraphs. When you have those key talking points, it's sometimes easier than word for word scripts. It gives you flexibility to sound natural. You riff on, some of your bullet points. But if you tend to go too far off field, and I have a lot of clients that do, we tighten it up. We give them exactly what we want them to say. If you are comfortable in kind of riffing on some of those points, absolutely. It will sound very, very natural. All right. We had a couple questions on B-roll. So just to go over it again, it's what helps your story, your video, keep moving along. It builds with just visual content what you're saying. So what could you film? What would be some ideas of B-roll? Well, it could be you sitting at your desk, getting ready to work. Maybe you're walking to your office, or time lapse of something. Maybe it's you with your team, getting in your car, or walking down the street, or talking with a client. Depending on what you're saying in the video, there's a lot of options. And again, you could say to ChatGPT, here's my script. Give me some ideas for B-roll. That is how I use ChatGPT. All right. We talked about that hook. Let's talk a little bit deeper about that hook. The hook is everything. You've got approximately 1.5 to 2 seconds to stop somebody from scrolling past your content. And that's not a typo. It's less than 2 seconds to capture attention. So some types of hook, pattern interrupt hooks. And what do I mean? Stop scrolling if you, whatever that is, or here's what nobody tells you about. That sparks interest and curiosity. So that's a hook. It breaks that scroll pattern. Specific number hooks. 3 mistakes costing customers. We as humans, we like numbers and we like odd numbers. Or the $500 lesson I learned, it gives concrete value with those statements. And what about relatable question hooks? Ever wonder why, whatever you're going to answer that question, or are you struggling with? Those lead you in, and people can relate to that phrasing. It immediately connects with your viewers who are having that same challenge. So here's some hook examples by industry, because remember, hook can work for any industry. So what if you're a service-based business? The number one mistake I see new clients make, and you will get a copy of these slides so you can read through all of them. I'll just give you a few. Or nobody talks about this part of whatever you want to talk about. What if you're a coach or a consultant? If you're not doing this, you're leaving money on the table. So we had a coach saying, what could you tell in 60 seconds? Any of these for a coaching industry, you could make a tip, a value post on any of these topics absolutely in under 60 seconds. The secret to whatever the desired income is. Your competitors are doing this, and you tell them what it is and how they can do it. What I wish I knew before. As part of your call to action, if you might say, I can't explain all of that in 60 seconds, maybe you take them to your blog where you go into it in depth. Maybe you take them to your website where you cover that. Maybe you say, if you want more information like this, or you want to schedule a personal conversation with me, follow the link below. That's your call to action. If you're a product-based business, this product solves whatever that problem is. Watch what happens when, whatever you do with that product. What if you're a creative business, right? The process nobody's going to show you. From idea to finished product in however many minutes you want to do. This took X hours to create, right? A mix of these can really work for whatever type of industry you have. All right, here's your video action plan. Week 1, you're going to set up, right, and test. Choose the filming location you're going to do your videos in. Test your lighting, test your sound. Download whatever video editing app you're going to play with. And like I said, you can test some first, but then just pick one that is comfortable for you to use. And practice with 3 videos just for you. You're not going to post them. Week 2, now you're going to create your content. Plan 5 video ideas using that content framework that we covered, those ideas that we talked about. Write simple bullet point scripts and film all 5 in one session. What I would do instead of bullet points, if you are not comfortable that you can stay tight, is you write your little bullet points and you put it in ChatGPT and you say, make me a script, keep it under 60 seconds, use these bullet points, and tell them what platform you want to be on for TikTok or for LinkedIn, and it will give you different tones to those videos. It's remarkable. Week 3, edit and post. Edit your videos using very simple techniques and add your captions in, music if you want to, and post your first video without overthinking it. Then week 4, build momentum. Now, I say post 3 to 5 times a week. Again, that's pro level stuff. I will not sugarcoat that, but just once a week to get started. Absolutely. Even if you're posting once a week, I want you to analyze it, see if you're getting views on it, see if you're getting comments, refine your process. If you are getting comments, you comment back. Algorithms love interaction. They love anything happening, so don't forget to comment back. On LinkedIn, a little thing that I think does help, you post your video, you wait about 10 minutes, have a cup of coffee. Then you make the first comment. That comment should expand on what's in the video a little bit. It's just a comment, but the algorithm likes that. It also sees that it is expanding the content of that video. The way the algorithm knows what that video is about is because you're using your keywords and key phrases in the video, in your closed captions, and in your description. Yes. Let's see. Someone is saying they've looking for a video editing software. The ones that again I think is easiest for if beginners is Canva. It's very simple in there. Something like DaVinci is definitely an advanced move. Yes, so if you've tried that one, yes, that one is very complicated. Couple of common mistakes to avoid: posting without captions. Over 85% of videos are played without the sound. Always add captions for accessibility and the algorithm. The algorithm can see that you have a video, but it can't understand what you're saying. Well, I'm sure at some point it will be able to, but right now it needs those words. It needs the captions to understand what's going on in the video. Weak call to actions. Tell your viewers exactly what you want them to do. Is it follow? Is it comment? What do you want them to do? Save it, share it, or visit your website? This is a big one. Inconsistent posting. Algorithms really love that consistency. You want your videos to offer value to your clients, and you want the algorithm to pick up on them so that they will show it to more people. Sporadic content, it really kills your momentum. So batch creating those videos, posting consistency, even if it's just once or twice a week. And also ignoring your analytics. Check which of your videos perform the best and double down on the ones that are working. Let that data that's available on every one of those platforms and every one of your videos really guide your video strategy. All right. Start creating today. I've gone over my best tips for you to get you excited and understand how important video is for your business. But you need to do it. You need to start. I want you to start creating those short form videos, the kinds that build trust and can help to grow your business. Your first video isn't going to be perfect. It just needs to exist, right? So your next steps are really simple. Choose one content idea that we've been talking about from today. Write that quick little bullet point script. I would have ChatGPT help me with it. Film a 30-second video this week. Post it before you can talk yourself out of it. The businesses that are doing really well on social aren't necessarily the ones with the biggest budget. They're the ones who show up consistently and authentically. And that can be you. So start today. You've heard this quote so many times. The best time to start was yesterday. Second best time is now. So grab your phone and start creating. We have just a couple of minutes left. So what I want to do is show you in ChatGPT how I would do that, just step by step. So I'm going to say, we had that question before about a coaching business. For a coaching business, and this is, I just write to it like I'm talking. Give me 3 examples of videos that are value to the client that can be scripted for a, I'm going to even put a 60-second script and we'll see what it says. 60-second script. So I'm asking it for ideas, right? 3 high-value videos work especially well for a coaching business. The hook, the value, application, soft close. So that's about 60 seconds. You can take what it's giving you and kind of rewrite it yourself, but I'm going to ask it to write it, and that's how I do. So one shift that changes your decision. So I'm going to put, oh, I like number 1. Please write me a voiceover script. So this way I just want just the voiceover. So, and I love that it gives you optional text to put on the, it's giving you so much more than you even asked for. So voiceover, again, we asked for a coaching business. If every decision feels heavy, it's usually because you're asking the wrong question. Most people ask, what's the right answer? And that question creates pressure, doubt, overthinking. A more useful question is, what would make this decision easier? Easier doesn't mean careless, it just means clearer. Sometimes it looks like getting one outside perspective. Sometimes it means setting a deadline instead of waiting for certainty. And sometimes it's simply admitting you already know the answer, you're just hesitating. This week, try this. When you're stuck, pause and ask, what would move this forward even a little? Momentum creates clarity, not the other way around. Okay, so that's a script it wrote in about a millisecond. I read it as I would read it if I was on camera using a teleprompter or saying it as a voiceover. That was pretty easy and that was pretty great. We had, I don't remember her name, but she was asking about a coaching business. How can she, in 60 seconds, give something valuable? I think that's really valuable that you could post to your clients and you could say that in under 60 seconds. Okay. Look at this. It even gives you delivery notes, calm, grounded pacing, slight pause after each question, no hard call to action, right? So it's kind of going against what I said, but it makes sense for this. Let it land. Works beautifully for LinkedIn, website, hero video, or an AI avatar. I love that. Okay, let's see if we have any other questions. Like I said, we just have a couple of minutes. Okay, so I'm going to say, give me a 60-second script now, please, for a, I'm going to say for a product business. So we've done a service business. Now let's try it. Product business, we'll put that makes yogurt makers. I can't spell, but ChatGPT doesn't care. And I'm going to put make it funny. Because again, you need to know your audience. And I'm going to say this audience wants some humor in it. Funny, high energy, 60-second voiceover script for yogurt maker product. Tone, light, witty, self-aware product yogurt maker. Let's talk about yogurt for a second. Not the tiny cup that costs $5 and disappears in 3 spoonfuls. I mean real yogurt. If you've ever looked at the ingredients and thought, why does that need a paragraph? This is for you. With a yogurt maker, you put in milk, add starter, press a button, walk away. That's it. No chemistry degree, no chanting, no dairy wizardry. 8 hours later, yogurt. Thick, creamy, I made this yogurt. Want it tangy? Cool. Extra thick? Done. Lactose-free, low sugar, no mystery ingredients? Obviously. You control the milk. You control the flavor. You control the smug satisfaction when you say, oh, I made my own yogurt. Store-bought yogurt will never emotionally recover. I think that's pretty great. So you can see the exact steps that I take when I want to write a script. But a script like that, I'm going to use a teleprompter because I'm not going to be able to remember it and riff on it. And that's the value, I think, of being able to use those teleprompters. Okay, see a couple more questions here. Let's see here. Am I going to do a second part for long form video? This one specifically was on short form video. Now, the same concepts apply to long form video because these days, long form video is really anything over a minute. So we're right at that cutoff. I'm asking for 60-second videos. The short ones that you see on social, a lot of those are like 15 seconds long. So very easy to take these same steps and take that script to over a minute. Now, since I said that those scripts are, you can see 15-second scripts, let's do 15 seconds for the yogurt. Let's see if it gives me a 15-second script. Store-bought yogurt has a lot of options and a lot of ingredients. With a yogurt maker, you add milk, press a button, walk away. 8 hours later, yogurt. No weird stuff, no effort, just, yeah, I make my own yogurt energy. So you can see how working with ChatGPT, you can give it what you want, and the more information you give it, the better the output is going to be. Okay. All right, I think we got all our questions. What kind of phone do I recommend? The one you have, because I don't want you to hesitate. I want you to start making videos. If the quality is not up to speed, then whatever phone you're comfortable using. I personally, I use an iPhone, and the video quality is amazing. All righty. Thank you so very much for joining me today. It was absolutely my pleasure. Thank you so much for being engaged in the chat because I do like to keep these as interactive as I can. Go out and make some videos. I'd love to connect with you on LinkedIn, and I hope to see you at another SCORE webinar very, very soon.